Hello, people. I'm just sharing the stream to social media, so I'm not in here alone. What's going on, everybody? Oh, it's a lot of people all of a sudden. That's very interesting.
How many?
18 off of the bat, which is quite a lot. I mean, I've gained a lot of subscribers since I've done this last, so I'm presuming that there is probably a bunch of new people in here. That's probably better lighting. Anyways, hello everybody. 22 people now. You know, if you all type in the comment section where you're from.
What happened to the light?
I turned the light off.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to turn it back on.
The one in here?
Yeah, because I'm packing up those boxes that are next to me.
But I'm streaming.
Huh?
I'm streaming.
I'm confused. Why can't you have the light on?
Because it's ugly and I can't see my monitor.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Look, can you just wait to pack the boxes until later? I'm streaming. Hello. You need help, Capybara. I hope you find it. Anyways, as I was saying, it boosts the engagement if everyone comments where they're from. Yeah, I think everybody has been cursed with bad weather. The weather's been like so hit or miss at the observatory lately. Oh yeah, a lot of astro drama. I'm just kind of toxic when it comes to the internet. I like to fight people and have arguments for fun. So Discord is just a great place to do that. Anyways, for all the new people joining, if you've never seen me before or you don't know what I do, because I know like my channel's grown by like a factor of 10 over the last month. My name's Bray. I'm a full-time astrophotographer, so this is kind of my job. I just sit here and take photos all the time. Not always behind a desk, but sometimes out in the desert. But the best photos are taken from the observatory, as usual. And this is one of the systems that I use to shoot my photos. Here you're seeing is the live feed as it's shooting images. And right now, I'm just doing some basic stuff with it. I am just looking at M42, and I'll give you all a bigger view of it. I have a bunch of scopes that I use equally. This is one of the main ones though. This is a 16-inch Arcos. This is M42, the Orion Nebula, and it is really bright. It is very, very, very bright. I need to turn down my exposure time by like half. No, I didn't hear about the biosignature. That's pretty cool. I want to believe in aliens, so always cool to hear. Anyways, can I have tips for the astrophotography? I'm a starter. My tips would be patient, drive to somewhere with dark skies. You get out what you put into it, so give your best effort, do everything correctly, try and get as much integration time as you can from the dark skies possible, and that's basically all you need. Shoot your flats, shoot your darks and your biases, and you should come out on top. But I would like to show you the other telescope I'm currently using, but I don't want to show you what it's looking at because the nature of what I'm looking at on my other telescope is needing to stay secret for now because it's another thing that I can't share yet. But I hope to be able to share soon because it's going to require a lot of exposure time, and I'm already like 15 or 16 hours in, but it's going to probably take another 40 hours to get this thing to show in a good way. I've got another little side project, well, not a side project, a main project, a discovery project that I'm working on. So that is what the Takahashi is going to be working on, so I'm not going to be able to show it to you. This is one Marcel and I are working on together, so this is a collab type thing. You can shoot M42 or something like that, definitely. I haven't been watching Beetlejuice, but it should go supernova at some point. Anyways, let me show you all the all-sky camera view. Normally I would show you the all-sky view off of my other system since I have a wide angle, but I am not showing that view tonight because it's classified. This, however, is the webcam at the observatory, looking pretty good. We got, I mean, the stars are looking actually really colorful right now because of a bit of haze, but here we can see it in the monochrome view, and we even got a time lapse of last night, and last night was bad, as you can see. Very hit or miss last night, so I just parked everything. Up until the end of the morning, though. At the end of the morning, I did grab a bit of data, just looking for things, but you can see Milky Way starting to come out towards the end of the night, so pretty cool. But those are the sky conditions we're working with. Actually, I want to see what the Sing is. The Sing monitor is currently non-functional, which is a bit annoying, but it looks okay right now. It's probably like 1.8, 1.9, probably bridging on 2 arc seconds per pixel. So I want to show you a bit of the data that I shot last night, because part of what I wanted to do is stream the data that I wanted to edit, because I've got one image I wanted to look at tonight, and I've got another that I would like to edit completely. This is one I wanted to mess with on stream, and this is a very highly detailed M42 that I shot. Sing was down to like 1.6 arc seconds per pixel last night. So I got a little bit of images. This green data probably needs to be reshot. This red data, though, was all very excellent, which reminds me, I'm actually going to schedule in like a little bit of green, and it's going to get 45-second exposures, and I'm going to do like 30 of them. And I also want to make sure I'm not clipping. The problem with this nebula I'm shooting is that it's too bright, and I mean, I'm even almost clipping there, which kind of sucks, but yeah, just kind of like a little fun image, and then later in the evening I swap over to Messier 88 just because it's a pretty cool galaxy. I've only really seen Adam Block's image of it, and I really like that one, so we're going to try and see how we fare on it. But for now, I wanted to kind of like sharpen up this M42 because I just wanted to see what kind of details would pop on it. I mean, I haven't sharpened this image at all. There's no BlurX. There's no nothing on this. And for those who don't know, BlurX is like an AI sharpening program. I'm going to take my jacket off really quick. Oh. Yeah. What? Yeah. All right, I'm back. The Mars bar on your counter. No, that is Trader Joe's sparkling water, I think, that you're seeing. I have one other telescope I'm running for a friend right now. I only have access to it via my other laptop, so I'm just booting this up. I'll give you guys a view of what it's looking at just holding the laptop up. But this other telescope is doing a little seagull action. Nothing crazy, just a little seagull time. And then a little Messier 101 later in the night on that scope. I've shot an absolute... Oh, my webcam just freaked out. Yeah, I've shot a ton of stuff on this other telescope. And this other one is a Delta Rho, which is a very, very nice telescope. It's like f3 and 1000 millimeters focal length, which is pretty nutty. But just had to make sure that was good for the rest of the night.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I throw this card away?
What card is that?
The birthday card from PFG.
Yes, yeah, you can throw it away.
Okay.
It says YouTube is buffering. I think my internet is shit right now. Anyways, I'm gonna hit this with the most nasty Fluorex. And we'll see how it goes. Is anyone in here taking photos tonight? Or is this all non-astrophotographers? I can never tell. Yeah, this will be uploaded to YouTube. I think they're all set to just automatically go to YouTube. Yeah, this one kind of does look a little fluidy. I think that crunched it a bit too hard. Yeah, what even is a 10 millimeter telescope? Do you mean 10 inches? M109. I don't remember which one is M109. I'm looking it up right now. I think I gave this galaxy like a D tier or something. It's pretty interesting actually. It has a good bar. Alright. I think I'm gonna tone back on this. Looks like Fluorex gets angry at me when I'm live streaming. Hello, hello. The star Fecta. That's kind of a creepy star name. Let's go to Astrobin. Oh, thank you. So you have a pretty wide telescope then if you're getting another star. Yeah, getting started is the hardest part. It just depends on what kind of photos you want to shoot. Once you know what kind of photos you want to take, then things get a bit better. But until you know, it's kind of hard to guide someone down the right path. Oh, is this one's Vecta? Yeah. I guess it's pretty cool. I haven't seen this kind of image before. I do like the one that's by Alpha Leo though. It's like that hidden galaxy. That one's really cool. We'll go back to the telescope view. Oh, I finally get to learn what's messing up my auto guiding. I don't know what's going on right now. The guide star is just skyrocketing out of the frame. Oh no. Your discovery, FL1, to discover the star, the nebula. It's not a star, it's a nebula. The nebula itself I discovered. And it doesn't seem like the mount is tracking off. Yeah, this is the error I've been getting lately. My scope has been not behaving very well lately. It's been turning off the tracking. I think it's waiting too long to meridian flip is my problem. Anyways, you guys get to watch troubleshooting. And of course, the Sky X refuses to track. Alright, we need to change our flip hour angle. Sup, Ian? We're shooting a lot of things tonight. There's a lot going on. There is the secret thing on my Takahashi, and then M42 right now on the Arcos, which really I'm just troubleshooting, and then Messier 88 later on. I don't know if I can add my catalog in Stellarium. To be completely honest with you, I don't even use Stellarium, but oh wow. Weird. I don't know why my mount just stopped tracking. That is highly uncool. I might need to reboot the Sky X or something. Isn't like a 10mm telescope smaller than your eyes? I'm confused. Yeah. The Sky X is completely losing its marbles on me tonight. I have to restart everything. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have a Paramount. Oh no, I started the wrong version of the Sky X. Bruh. It almost just got the task manager. Are you getting an L mount? Are you putting it in Alabama? That's what I'm curious about. Thank you, key switches. It might be my Wi-Fi, if we're being honest. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the sky is flipped. Chile, SRO, or New Mexico, or Australia. Don't go to Australia. I'm warning you now. You will find nothing but hardship, sadness, and cloudy skies in Australia. I would never in my life put an observatory in that country. Top 10 worst places to have a remote observatory on the planet. The weather's just bad. I ran a scope for Christoph for 6 months in Australia, and I literally only ran the scope a handful of times because it was literally raining nonstop, like record flooding in Australia. So, yeah, don't put anything there. Never. But Chile or Namibia are a go, I would say. I was at Heaven's Mirror Observatory in Yass, New South Wales. So let's see, Yass, New South Wales weather. We'll just see how good the weather is. Looks like clear tonight. Partly clear. Wow. Surprising. Clear. Clear. Cloudy. Cloudy. Yeah, I guess the weather's okay right now in New South Wales, but when I had the scope, it was just thunderstorm and rain for the entire duration. It was not a fun time. The skies are nice though. It's dark. I feel like it is cheating if you aren't using your own equipment. Well, I am using my own equipment. This telescope though, this one, I run with someone else. So this equipment I didn't buy, but the other telescope I'm using, which I can't show you because it's doing something confidential, it is my own equipment, and I actually flew out and installed it myself. So it's kind of like, you know, I had full ownership of the process. So I don't really view it as not my equipment. But yeah, for Southern Hemisphere countries, the best is Chile, technically speaking. Yeah, Australia is bad. China would be interesting. I wonder how many remote observatories there are in China, because I see people on Astrobin posting from China, but I don't know where they are. But it's really, for Southern Hemisphere, it's a toss-up between Chile and... You good? It's Chile or Namibia, and I can give you a contact. I don't know if I'm going to send a telescope to China, but yeah, they do have desert areas, and I know they have a lot of mountains too, and they probably have some dark spots. I think there's like a bigger level of astrophotography than I think there is in China, because when I went to the Royal Greenwich Observatory exhibit, a lot of the photographs from there were Chinese, and they were from people I'd never heard of. So I think it's a lot bigger than I think. But yeah, Chile is expensive. That's the problem with Chile, and I reached out to pretty much all of the observatories in Chile to try and get a discount on a pier, and none of them would give me one, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm not going to Chile, because I don't know, I kind of view myself as being valuable if I have a scope at someone's observatory. But no one there was interested, so I sent one to Namibia instead, because it's way cheaper. You do have to pay with the monsoon season though, but the transparency and the darkness there during the wintertime is better than Chile, actually. It's darker than Chile, more transparent, and less light pollution. So I don't know. I'm okay eating a monsoon season because I've done that my whole life in Arizona, and I've taken some pretty good photos, but there's a huge boom in setting up observatories. SRO in shambles. Yeah, nah, SRO is, I love SRO. For the Northern Hemisphere, there is no substitute, in my opinion. Yeah, with the clouds, it's been a bit annoying here, but, bro, this mount. February is statistically the cloudiest month for Sierra Remote Observatory. Spring, fall, and summer, though, are pretty magical here. So, I mean, there is no place where it's perfect. That's kind of the reality of it, and you make compromises everywhere. But there is no place in America that has better seeing, better internet. And, I mean, yeah, there's places with darker skies, but they won't have the same amount of seeing. Like, I watched a, oh, thank you. I watched a video with Galactic Hunter talking to Utah Desert Remote Observatory, and, what is it, the guy, Craig, he was like, yeah, our seeing is 2 to 3 arc seconds, which is pretty good. And I don't want to like poop on the observatory, but 2 to 3 arc seconds of seeing at SRO is a bad night. I would not call 2 to 3 arc seconds a good night. That's kind of like, that's pretty poor. But it is probably darker at Utah Desert Remote Observatory, so it's like, it's just about the trade-off and what you intend to do and what the constraints are. There's different places that are more cost-effective depending on what the needs are. And I need Southern Hemisphere, so what I thought might be the best cost for my dollar is to go to, you know, Namibia. Yeah, exactly. 2 to 3 arc seconds is good enough for the wide field scopes, all the wide boys out there looking to do bigger stuff. But if you are sampling even medium focal length or extremely long, it's going to be a problem. I mean, it's probably 2 to 3 is probably better than what most people experience at home anyways, so it's an improvement either way, but it could be better, certainly. North of Xinjiang is an area that is being developed especially for remote observatories. If you have a link or something for the Chinese remote observatories, I'd be really interested in reading more, because I'm pretty curious. I don't know much about Chinese geography, and I've been like obsessing lately over North American and Southern Hemisphere geography for observatories. I've actually been compiling a list of every single one that exists on the planet, and China is kind of like a black hole for information from just Googling it. Did you get your Southern Hemisphere rig shipped and set up yet? Yes, it is not set up yet, but it is currently shipped, and it's sitting in the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport luggage distribution zone center in Grapevine, Texas. And it is. My telescope is sitting in this building next to all these freight cars. And Yeah, it's just been hanging out there. So last week,
Oh, sweetie.
I've been watching it because I have an air tag on it, and it was at a different building in the airport for like 5 days, and then one morning I woke up, I checked it, and they drove it to another distribution area. So it's moved from one building to the other, and it's going to catch a flight to Frankfurt. I don't know when it's going to go to Frankfurt, but after it goes to Frankfurt, it's going straight to Windhoek Airport in Namibia. And it's going then to the Hakos Astro Guest Farm. Right here. Best favorite telescope you have, the Takahashi 106 is my personal favorite. It's my pride and joy. And for long focal length, the Arcos, of course. It's actually monsoon season has started to end in Namibia. You can see it's sunrise right now and it's quite clear. It's currently 4 a.m. there in Namibia, and I think they need to wipe off their all-sky camera, but it should be pretty great. You can see here in their photo in the background, this mountain here is called Tabletop Mountain. And it's called Gamsberg Mountain. Well, not Tabletop. It's called both things. Gamsberg Mountain. The Gamsberg Nature Reserve. So if you don't know, this mountain was, back in the 90s, intended to be the location for the VLT. It was one that they were considering and weighing options for as to, do we go to Paranal or do we go to Gamsberg? So they built a whole road and everything for it. Hey Chuck, how's it going? Oh no. You lost the 4 hours. I feel for you. You gotta get a remote scope, Chuck. Then you can be shooting all the time. Chuck gave me a shout out on his stream last time and it was very sweet, so I'm gonna give Chuck a shout out back. If you like watching live astrophotography, there is no comparison at the moment. He is really on top of all the space events, so go check him out. Chuck's Astrophotography. But yeah, Namibia trip. I want to go this September. I've been talking to Derek about it. We might be trying to do a workshop, more workshops in the fall. So I don't know if it's going to happen, but I would really like to make it happen. But yeah, this location, this mountain, was originally supposed to be the VLT. So, and what lies there now in the wake of the initial expeditions there to kind of determine site suitability, what they've left behind is a international observatory group, kind of like a club, and they call it the IAS. So the land owned by the ESA at the top of the Gamsberg, this mountain, which was supposed to hold a VLT, is now leased to the club, or the club basically owns it, and they maintain a pretty large Dobsonian at the top of the mountain. And as well, the other IAS buildings down here, which house the remote observatories where the telescope will go. So it's almost like in another life, my telescope would be next to the VLT, but that's not how it turned out, and the lack of investment in that area has led it to being a bit cheaper than Chile is, and that's why my stuff is going. But there's a lot of great images. From here, we can see this is the IAS page for Astrobin, and yeah, they've got a lot of very excellent images. Naturally, it's a world-class site, and yeah. But I would like to go in person because it's a pretty nutty place. Here you can see they've got a 10-inch new. This was Astrobin image of the day. Pretty gorgeous. It's a pretty great place. And if you just do like a quick search like Hakos or Namibia into Astrobin, And we can give it a filter. We can select awards, only images of the day and top picks. I know I'm about to be at 50K. It's very surprising and strange because it's all happened from a couple of shorts and it's all happened very quickly. And it was actually, I have to thank Chuck again because it was inspired by Chuck, because I've seen how well Chuck has been doing, and he's inspired me to kind of adapt my short video style to more closely match his educational style of content, because it seems to be what does good. So, and it turns out it has done good. So yeah, there's, oh, that's kind of a weird lens flare. New planetary nebula. Yeah, there's a lot of great images. I need to pull up Jacob Sonner's Milky Way image. Thank you, Chuck. It was a great effort to find something, and I'm glad to have done it and put the work in. It didn't sell like really any prints at all, but stuff like that is forever, and that's more important than selling prints. Yeah, here we go. So this photo, Cosmonity, Adrian, Michael, and Jacob, a really amazing panorama collaboration they worked on. A large part of it was shot from Namibia. So Jacob and Adrian both have basically the Milky Way going up to NGC 6188 around here from La Palma, and then Michael has pretty much everything going all the way down to Vela in this area. And this was all shot from Namibia, the place where I will have my scope. And I hope to kind of repeat this effort myself. But we're going to be just doing it in oxygen. It's very funny. Anyways, the telescope is back. I've done a couple Milky Way panoramas, but nothing on the scale that the Cosmonity team have done. My efforts are quite small in comparison to theirs. Well, not as small, but for example, this image. This was a big mosaic, a lot higher focal length of it. And I actually discovered something from this mosaic image. I can tell you about it because it's already known, but ooh, excuse me. We'll go into the full res and take a peek. No one's gonna photograph this because it's super hipster. I'm gonna photograph it though when it comes back around. So if you see down here, this part of the Milky Way, this is the Sagittarius, the small Sagittarius star cluster, and basically down here, this like little double nub, branching out from the double nub all the way to this little dusty boy up here, there's a supernova remnant, like big electric shocks of supernova remnant. They are known. There's just no photos of it yet. So once the Milky Way comes back around, I think my SRO scope is going to just be going ham on the small Sagittarius star cloud, and that's just going to be what it's for. Hello, Adarsh. Yeah, everything is already on the way to Namibia. I don't know when it's going to get there, but hopefully soon. Yeah, this is very, very hipster astrophotography. I think I might have a photo of it on my website. I made a GoFundMe for some reason. I just made it on a whim. I'm going to sign in off stream because I'm super paranoid. What's a code? Anyways, I can show it to you all on another day. But it's a pretty cool supernova remnant. Oh, and for everyone watching, I have to, of course, share this. I gotta flex on everyone for a little bit. This is my boy, my little friend. I didn't take any more shots with my FSQ. I only had the one shot with it, and I know the reverse lighthouse effect is a problem. I just kind of leave it, honestly. Do you know what it is yet? We think Pascal and Marcel and Xavier told me they think it's like the Squid Nebula. So the Squid Nebula is like a circumstellar or interstellar media that's being ionized by a very hot star. So we think it's just a super hot star ionizing the surrounding area, but we don't really know. I mean, there's no way to know until we get a spectra or any other kind of follow-up on it to like be really sure. So we don't really know. Yeah. I wonder what else I can show. You should look at, oh, I know what I need to show you guys. I have some things to share. I need to pull it up. So somebody sketched my nebula. Someone on Cloudy Nights. I think he's a pretty well-known visual observer. I'm just like not in that crowd, so I don't even know. See ya, Chuck. Is there an affordable deep space rig around 800? No, probably. Well, deep space with a telescope, no. You're gonna have to spend more, but if you're willing to just use a camera, a lens, and a tracker, you could probably get it done. You're not gonna be able to use a telescope for 800 though. Yeah, when you're trying to remove stars, it's probably a pain, but I just had to share this because it's super cool. Mel looked at my nebula with a, whatchamacallit, a 16-inch f3 telescope, f2.9, and he did a little sketch, which is really cool. Very sweet. Yeah, I have some basic, like, starter rigs using camera lenses listed on my website. If you go to my gear tab, we'll go to it right now actually just to show you. So on my gear tab on my setups, you can basically like mimic this setup. A Star Adventure, a tripod, and then a DSLR and a lens, and basically any lens and DSLR will do. His name's Mel. Mel Bartels. Mel Bartels. I don't know how to pronounce it, but pretty cool. You know the dude who originally created CN? Is he ancient? It sounds like he has to be ancient. Under Bortle 4, it depends. With narrowband, yeah, definitely. You're probably fine. One other thing, I don't want to dunk on Steve here, Steve Teal. But somebody actually shot my nebula 2 months ago, which puts it, it's February now, December. So someone shot it around the time I was discovering it, but they used Telescope Live, and they just didn't know that my nebula was right here. Well, it wasn't my nebula at that point. I think in late December I submitted my verification images. But it's still pretty neat to see, you know. And this was captured from Heaven's Mirror Observatory, where I was running that one telescope where it was perpetually cloudy. So it just goes to show, when you're working on this kind of stuff, there is a need for secrecy, and there is a need to be expeditious about it, for sure, because I'm not the only person looking, and there's always reminders of that on the internet. Anyways, that's the nebula. Telescope's still going. I can't show you the other one, but I actually do need to check if it's still going. We'll do it off screen. Yeah, okay. My other telescope is doing just fine. 12 minutes till meridian flip. Yeah, I've got some cool images. I was actually working on this one. It just took a billion years to blur Exterminator, and I forgot I was working on it. What do I think of the Sigma 28 1.4 art? I have no idea. The only lens from Sigma I can speak on is the 40mm art, and the 40mm is absolutely cracked, and I love it. But this is the, oh yeah, that's juicy. This is the M42 I've been working on with the Arcos, and I was just giving it a light edit. And after this light edit, we are going to move on to M81, and we are going to give it a little edit. My target tonight is Messier 88, Messier 42, and a nebula that shall not be named because it doesn't have a name and must remain secret. But this is pretty cracked, I'm not gonna lie. We just gotta throw HD MRT on here, and then pretty neat. What made you want to become an astronomer? I've just always been into space since I was 14, or whatever you like to call yourself. Yeah, I know it's kind of weird at this point because astrophotographer and astronomer is a term that, as time goes on, is becoming more and more one, especially as I continue to pursue discovery work. It's kind of like bridging the gap from something that's just pretty pictures into something else, which is pretty cool. But yeah, when I was 14, I saw Jupiter through a pair of binoculars, and I was like, this is cool. And I was just kind of gripped by the idea that you could see things your eyes can't see. And I just kept taking that idea further and further. And I just wanted to keep sharing what I was looking at visually with everybody, of course, because astronomy is something that's meant to be shared. So I was like, I need to take a photo to show these people what I've seen because it's crazy. And then, you know, of course, that leads you straight into astrophotography. And then bing bang boop, and many dollars of telescopes later, now we're here. Did you see the discovery Strautner? Marcel told me I've been pronouncing his name wrong, so now's my chance to fix it. Strautner Drexler, and Echo 1. Yeah, I did see that nebula. And for anyone else as confused about pronouncing Marcel's last name as me, now you know. It's Drexler. Yes, this image has gotten a very light edition of BlurX. This whole BlurX thing has been just so lovely for this telescope, as you can see. I saw Wolfgang Promper's image of this the other day, and I was like, man, I just want to shoot this thing. I don't really care about the trapezium, I'm really vibing with this part of the nebula. But yeah, BlurX is great. Let's get into the real work though, because we've got real work to do. For astrophotography post-processing, I have a couple of videos, so I might recommend me, but my videos, those ones at least need work. I need to make improved ones. But this live stream is going to be a resource though. I have a lot of editing live stream videos that are saved still to my YouTube, so I edit all kinds of images on my streams because, yeah. So that could be a good thing to look at. Other than that, I don't really know. I don't watch other people's YouTube videos for editing usually because, you know, actually, I do want to share you guys, before we get into this, I know I'm being a tease, I want to show you Marcel's photo because it's really cool. This photo. Yeah. So they have a bunch of different discoveries in this one image around Cygnus. There's Stratner-Drechsler 161, then there's another thing. There's just a lot of stuff going on. It's pretty great. I am a big fan of this up-close photo of the object, though. I think this would be a really interesting one to hit with the bigger telescope, but it might just be too faint. But Marcel does such a good... Oh. Did I mispronounce it again? It's Drexler. Oh, no. But yeah, he does such a good job with noise reduction. Oh, look, the Namibian sunrise is happening right now. So, as I said earlier, the observatory is down there, just on the left, and there's the Gamsberg in the background. That's where the VLT would have gone in another life. But anyways, let us do a little edit. So this is an M81 image I shot pretty recently, and the SING was pretty good through most of the capture. It was like 1.8, 1.4 to 1.8 probably. So it was pretty reasonable. I could probably get a way better image of this later in the summer for when it's 1 point or around 1 or 0.8, but this is what we're working with. I've already blur-X'd it, as you can tell. You might be able to tell from the name. I have blur-X in it. I just need to figure out, the colors were a bit weird. Every time I color balanced it, it shifted pretty far green, so we're just gonna try giving it a stretch and hoping for the best. It is quite highly detailed, but I'm not gonna get any IFN. The focal length of this is 3,658 millimeters. So this is about as much as you can get. Oh, actually, I don't know if you're talking about Marcel's image or mine. I don't know how refreshed the stream is. I think the chat is more refreshed than the screen view that I'm seeing, and I know I need to recalibrate my monitor because this is gonna be a nightmare. But yeah, this is just pretty nutty, as you can tell. It's kind of bothering me to look at it like this though, so we're gonna 90 degree rotate it. I don't care about my previews. I mean, you almost don't even have to do anything to it, and this is what I've been trying to live by lately, is a little bit of less is more, and this doesn't really need a whole lot, you know what I mean? This is pretty cracked. Yeah, I noticed that. It's a satellite train, and there's some lens flares at the bottom. I'll have to deal with those, but it's not such a grave concern to me at the moment. What I want to do to this now is give it HD MRT. Yes, I captured this photo. Looks like bodes. That's because it is bodes. 29 hours, and you didn't miss it. I didn't say. I never really talk about my technical image details that much. To be completely honest with you, I usually forget my technical details for my images because I usually am I go until I know deep down that I have enough exposure time, and I just kind of have like a sixth sense for it at this point, and I just don't really remember the technical specs. But this image really doesn't need a whole lot. A little stretch, a little HD MRT. This was with the Arcos 16-inch at Sierra Remote. See, this is what I mean. M81 is green. It's always green in everyone's photo, and I don't know if everyone is just SCNRing out the green, but I think it's actually green. It's gotta be green. Oh, stream was caught up on the question. What was the question? Oh, the focal length? 3658. So I actually also shot HA. I don't know if it's registered or not. We're gonna see if it's registered. I'm 90% sure that it's registered. Please be registered. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, so my HA is registered. This is a hydrogen continuum image, and it's really noisy. So one thing I was hoping to do was to actually smack it with Noise X, which sometimes works, but a lot of the time it just doesn't. At least on my longer focal length stuff. You should also know that I did shoot both sulfur and HA on this. Sorry, sulfur and oxygen, but there wasn't anything there. I've been kind of a crazy person lately about shooting things in oxygen. Oxygen is my most used filter these days, which is very odd because I've always disliked it, but slowly we've become more acquainted. How nice is it if you worked at NASA? I don't know. I tried to get a job at NASA for so long and they didn't want me, so I do my own thing now. I'm not too interested in working for somebody else these days. So I do my stuff independently now. Save some discoveries for me. No, I'm taking them all. As your job full-time, use YouTube your full-time job. Partially, yes. Right now, it doesn't make enough money to solely be a full-time job, but I am heavily investing my time into it to become a full-time job. Alright. I think this is like the extent of everything I wanted to do in PixInsight. If I wanted to, I could do wavelets. We're gonna see how it goes. What's your cat's name? There are two cats. They're Lanchan's cats, but at this point, they're probably equally my cat. Their names are Woody and Annie. It's a black tuxedo cat and a gray tuxedo. Woody is very pair bonded to my girlfriend. She tolerates my existence, but the gray one kind of loves everybody. YouTube memberships. I have not looked into it on the YouTube membership front. I might though. Are you a dog person or a cat person? I am both. I love all animals equally, but oh no. I wanted to tiff. Yeah, I like animals. I just don't see myself purchasing a pet for myself ever. You know what I mean? Because pets are a lot of responsibility, and I don't really have a utility for a pet. Are you a gamer? I'm a bit of a gamer. You are the Bob Ross of astrophotography. That's a very high compliment. I appreciate that. I haven't watched Bob Ross though, so it's kind of falling on deaf ears. In less than 48 hours, you'll be in Salt Lake. What are you in Salt Lake for? I got my first telescope when I was 14. It was a Orion Star Blast. We're just gonna chuck in our HA really quick. We go screen. I haven't been super like, how do you say it? I haven't been very mathematical about how I do this. I've usually been going about it like this lately. I just give her a big old color shift. Something like that, and then I'm gonna give it like a bit of a more strict mask. No, I only had a visual telescope when I was 14. I wasn't able to have a astrophotography rig, as you might call it, until I was 16, and I was able to get a job. Because I couldn't really ask for my parents to buy everything for me. My parents aren't billionaires, so I can't really ask them to buy all my telescopes. But if your parents are super rich and they can buy all your telescopes for you, I will not look down upon you for that at all, and please use your rich parents to get a better telescope. I know I would have. You find that funny? Calm down. I'm calm. There is going to be a storm with 2 feet of snow later this week. Hey, Lanshin. There's going to be 2 feet of snow in Salt Lake later this week.
What are you doing?
Yeah, you got to use the best gear you can get. I'm not gonna look. We all get a spawn point, and we work with what we've got. It's not anyone's fault that they got born with rich parents, and I would take advantage of that. While many of you may potentially have been birthed to rich parents and done astrophotography while you're young, I got an even better deal because I got born in Arizona, which basically is the most overpowered spawn location if you're doing astro. So that's even better than having rich parents, in my opinion. It's just getting a good spawn location. What is the coolest thing you have found in space? The nebula I found is the coolest thing because it's mine now. But that supernova remnant inside the small Sagittarius star cloud is pretty sick, not gonna lie. Alright, I think this is a pretty tone-friendly combination. Is this Messier 81? Yes. Why is that an all caps question? You can just Google M81 and see that this is M81. It's a little aggressive to be all capsing at me over a Messier object. I'm just trying to get rid of these magenta stars. I can't tell what's a star and what's not. What is the best survey for looking for new PNs? I will be the first to break to you the bad news that Marcel and Xavier have pretty much wiped the floor clean on professional surveys. I won't say they've wiped the floor clean because there are some smaller ones, but they've certainly had kind of like their pick of the litter. So you kind of gotta DIY it yourself if you want to find things. Alright, I think that's tasteful enough. I don't know if I want to saturate everything together at once though. And I think I want to keep it green because I'm pretty sure M81 is actually green. Cat Eye Nebula or Tarantula Nebula? The Cat Eye Nebula is better in my opinion because every photo I've seen of the Tarantula Nebula is usually pretty ugly, excluding like James Webb or something. Clarity 100. Yes, M81 there is yellowish here, but I mean, I've edited 2 different images of M81 in the last week, and both of them, after color calibration, turned up green. And it's bothering me because I think everyone is just deleting all the green. I mean, let's go look at Hubble's image. I think they're using RVB filters though, so I don't know if it's as accurate. Yeah, I don't know. That photo has a bit of green. Thank you. We're gonna look at other people's M81s and see what the deal is. Only images of the day and top picks. That one looks pretty good. Kevin, good old Kevin. It's all right. He can use all caps if he wants to. It's okay. I think it's kind of funny. That's a really cool photo. They've got IFN. I do not have that. We are going to filter by pixel scale. I'm only interested in seeing photos with big boy scoops. John Hayes. I don't like that. Christopher Lichtblau. What is happening in the background? Very color noise reduced heavy and very messed with on the colors. I think I might go a little bit magenta, but I'm not going to go crazy. This is why I don't do astrophotography critiquing videos, because I'm just going to be really annoying. Turn up saturation. I'm scared to to turn up my saturation too much. I mean, this is what would be like quote unquote proper color. I'm gonna have to fix the core, I know, before anyone tells me. Yeah, it's because my gain, since I'm at F9, my gain is cranked out to the absolute limits, and because of that, my core gets clipped on galaxies, but it's okay because I'm just gonna clone stamp the color and all of your worries are gonna melt away. Yeah, that's low key. I'm getting carried away with this. Yeah, you were right. You were right on the HA saturation. Is F13.89 good for M81? I don't even know what that means. Is that even a question? I think one other thing I'm going to have to do is I actually need the only image I'm going to have of the core that's not clipped is from the hydrogen data. So I do actually need to get that. I think this lives in a different folder though. There's all my master flats. Here we go. This linear image has a clean core to the middle we can use for our luminance. And we can assume, broadly speaking, that the brightness for the core is directly matching for HA as it is Lume. So to me, this is a valid substitution to be making. Are these high-res photos basically just junk photos for you? I didn't like any of the other high-res photos I saw on Astrobin. None of them looked good. I will say that, and I know that's kind of harsh, but they didn't look that great. But the times have changed. They didn't have Blurex, and they didn't have their scope at the same spot, and they didn't have as much resolution, so there's many confounding factors there to their photos not being up to it. Do you know how to play any musical instruments? I kind of know the guitar, the piano, and I used to know how to play the saxophone. Should I start colorizing my Mars image? Yeah, of course. Oh, the bats image of M81. Hold up. How do I find the bats photo? If I just Google, oh, dang it. If I just look up bat, am I gonna find it? No. Let me know whose Astrobin I have to go to see the bats, because I'd like to find another good example. Looks like they have an M82, 14 hours. It's okay. Pretty good. Anyways. There's our HA for the core. there's our stream edit. So what we're gonna do is a little bit of black magic stuff. A lot of the time, you can use your narrowband photos to fix random things in your RGB. Like so. I did this to the Horsehead Nebula and a couple of other ones, and it worked out pretty great. So what you do is you come here, you say, I want this image to be the luminosity. We grab it, we mask it into the core. I know it looks bad now, but we'll come to our background layer and get the Band-Aid tool, switch it to color. We're going to absolutely nuke the color of the core now that it's fine, and then we're going to take a curves transformation straight to the core, and we're going to curves away until we get tones that match, and then we can get it perfectly exposed all the way up to the core, and no one's going to know that we used the HA data, and then bang, APOD. See what I mean? Pretty great, huh? Before to after, and now there's no problem. And it looks pretty natural because it didn't blur X the HA, so it's like kind of a steady fall in to the galaxy itself. So that's pretty great. Pretty great. Thank you, David. There are a couple of other cosmetic things to fix in here, like the middle of that star, and a couple other things. And my late looks amazing. I wouldn't say that you're super late because I haven't done that much to this photo. Just a couple minor things. We're gonna save this though. Stream edit layers. I'll save it as a Photoshop because I'm gonna hit it with the flatten, and I want to work on the couple cosmetic problems. The background needs desaturation. That star needs desaturation. That's my girlfriend. Let me turn the light off. Her name's Lanchin, and she does space art too. You can find all her stuff at Lanchin Designs is her Instagram, and her YouTube, and her Twitter, and pretty much everything else. But she does space art, and she just did it was a black and white Eagle Nebula that was very, very cool. Yes, that's my GF, but if you like the space art, you should go look at her stuff. Well, this is 10-minute long exposures, and the final image I think has like 30 hours. Yeah, this is gonna end up being like the most tasteful M81 I've seen or edited. I went looking on Astrophotography to see if I could find any better M81 images, and I couldn't find any that were better. So I think we're on to something. So it's funny that you mentioned trying the Lucky imaging. I have tried to do Lucky imaging like the bat with this telescope. However, the issue is the Lucky imaging method only functions for telescopes that are like actually pretty fast. If you're f9, like this telescope, it doesn't really work. I tried it on the Bubble Nebula and it looked pretty bad. But if you have a Dobsonian or a Newt style telescope, then it does give you a huge power advantage. Basically, you need to be exposing for like less than half a second, and I physically can't do that with the Arcos because it's too slow. So I can't do that style of lucky imaging, but low-key it doesn't matter because the seeing at SRO is so good that it's basically like I'm just lucky imaging like all these other people, except I can just do my long exposures, you know what I mean? A lot of faint background smudges in this image. I wonder if there's like a good way for me to brighten those up. Because it would be really cool to just like emphasize a couple of the background galaxies because it makes the photos look really neat. No, I haven't kept a log of Betelgeuse. Yeah, the HA and Holmberg 9 is really neat. I'm live kind of sporadically. I think it's kind of ended up being like once a week, honestly. But I haven't been super consistent at it. As time goes on, though, you'll be seeing me here more and more often because I've made a very strong, renewed effort to grow my YouTube channel, and part of that is live streaming, so you'll see me here more and more. I just love background galaxies. I like that one right here. This one looks like a galaxy collision. That background galaxy, it's just so sick. Is there a double star right there? Do you see that? That's crazy. I've never noticed that. A neat little double star in M81. I've actually never seen that before in anyone's photo, but it's not like I've really gone looking. Do you guys know what double star that is? I just want to hit this with a fairly strong iteration of color noise reduction because I know those background galaxies have a lot of color noise. Yeah, I might do an annotated version. We'll see. I think I want to brighten the wings of the galaxy just a little bit. Can I make you a 50K sub button? What's a 50K sub button? I don't know what sub buttons are because I don't know anything about YouTube. Play button. Yes, I don't know if I'll know how to use it, but I could look into it. Oh, like an actual award thing? Like the metal plate thing they give you in the frame? Do they even do that for 50K, or do you have to make one? I will certainly take one of those. It's gonna become outdated really fast though because my YouTube channel is blowing up. You should make that 100K one. Are EQ platforms worth it for Astro? You mean like for a fork mount? Probably not. I mean, there's some people who I think use them to good effect, but I think you would probably save yourself some heartache if you just got a real mount. Oh, for a Dobsonian, yeah. You could just get an EQ6 and put your Dobsonian on the EQ6 and call it a day. Yeah, the core of the Big Blue Star needs love. I agree with you. I'm just, and this star too. I think though that the more effective batch approach to handling that is going to be star spikes, but giving it a light application and maybe not giving it any spikes, but just tuning it so that it's just the central part of the star. It definitely is in need of repair. Yeah, like turning up the secondary spike intensity just to fill the hole, and like a little bit of soft flare recovers the pretty much all the star problems, but the secondary spike intensity is going to end up manifesting a bit too much in some other parts of the photo. I guess I could just mask it. And BlurX also definitely did some weirdness to these diffraction spikes. So those definitely also need to be reconfigured now that I'm looking at this. I think that's pretty good. At least for the cores of some of these stars. I'm gonna hide it, of course, on a couple different spots. And we'll take it. Yeah, you see that I think ended up being a pretty reasonable application of the star spikes. A couple of these definitely do need to get nuked though. good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty great. It's time to start thinking about our final crop. Yeah, the core of that oh yeah, you're right. Orange Star core. Part of me just wants to clone stamp that out, but I think I can just heal the core with the Band-Aid tool. I'm just going to think about applying this clarity adjustment. Have you ever taken a picture of ton 618? I have not, but I've actually thought about doing it because I recognize that it's a highly searched term amongst people who subscribe to me. So eventually I probably will photograph that object. I was live streaming imaging a while ago, but I kind of stopped because I got carried away with the edit. But yeah, there's M42. I'm imaging another galaxy right now, but it's the scope doesn't go to it until way later in the night. Finished one. That's foreshadowing that I'm gonna have like 80 versions of this photo. Maybe just like, yeah, a little bit of curves. Just a little bit. So when I shared this to Astrobin, what if you woke up in the orbit of Stephenson 218? How would you react? I would simply die. I don't think there is a reaction. Anyways, this is gonna get downscaled. The core hurts my eyes. What about the core? This core is perfect. You're gonna have to get specific about what's wrong with the core. I think the Astrobin crop gets that. That's gonna be the Astrobin post. Do I know Astro Backyard? Yes. I know Trevor. We've met in person. He is pretty cool. It's good, yeah. You're right, it's good. I'm just messing with you. That orange star definitely needs... It needs more than what I expected. Oh god. Take me back. Oh no. We're just gonna get the paintbrush. I know this is sacrilege, but nobody needs to know. Just you, me, and however many people watch this stream until the end of time need to know that I did that. I don't know, I would say it's pretty cracked. I haven't seen an M81 this good personally. And I'm gonna pull a Wolfgang Promper. After I downscale, you give it a hearty amount of high pass filter sharpening. I actually think I need to downscale it even more. We'll go 2500 pixels. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's pretty crunchy. Yeah, I think this one is this one's a pretty special one. I'm gonna need to calibrate my monitor and get that sorted before I post, but this is really nice. Oh, hold up. I want this to be 8-bit. We'll save it as for Astrobin. We'll go JPEG. And then I'm just going to throw it to my Dropbox, and we'll look at it on the other thing. Well, we'll look at it on my laptop, and I'll decide if it's worthy of a post. I do notice a problem. This star color is messed up right off the bat. That needs to be clone stamped, but if you guys were to do something to this image, what would it be? Does it speak to you? You know what I mean? Does it make you feel something? Yeah, there are a couple of magenta stars that made it in. That is the one thing I would say. A couple magenta stars to fix. This image is not syncing to my hard drive. Yeah, I know this image is a little dark, and I wanted to keep it dark because there really isn't enough data to push it any further, if I'm being honest. It would need a lot more data, like more data than I could feasibly do with the imaging schedule I'm trying to keep up with. Just gotta clean up a couple magenta boys. It's hard to tell what's a magenta star and what's an emission nebula. This is like 30 hours of data. I had to dump a lot of it though. So in the end, I think it's like 27 hours maybe. Not a ton for this scope. I could definitely do more. I just didn't want to stay on this too long. M81 is kind of one of those things where you could spend 1 billion hours, or you could just spend 30 and call it an image. The atmosphere is the main thing that affects my shots. It's the most important part. I don't know what that little red thing is, but it's getting absolutely deleted. The purple things in this image are mission nebulae. They are like the Orion and Lagoon nebulas of our own galaxy, just in their galaxy. And the telescope's got so much zoom that I can just look at them, even though they're in another galaxy, so it's pretty cool. I shot a couple hours in a whole other filter just to get them. So the star spikes, they are partially artificial. They're mostly not artificial though, because I use Star Spikes Pro to recover the middle portion of the stars, and the outer portion of the spikes are real.
Are you using this?
The mic, yeah. I'll put it back.
Alright, fine.
I gave you a shout out.
Huh?
Did you hear me giving you a shout out?
Oh, no.
But yeah, the spikes are partially artificial. Partially. But you would never know, so it's okay. I'm gonna resave this with these minor changes. And hopefully it'll sync to my laptop any day. I think my storage on my laptop is full, and that's why it's not syncing. I've got 600 gigabytes of documents on my MacBook. I have 58 gigs. This should be syncing. Yeah, I have prints of my photos on the internet, on my website, astrofalls.com. It's linked to my, to all my stuff. Yeah, on my laptop, the blacks are clipped. I don't know what's up with my monitor. This is M81. I'm just checking how it looks on my my MacBook right now, just to get a feel for it. I kind of like the blacks being super low, but I don't know if I want them that low. Okay, I got it to match pretty well on my MacBook. just doing a little bit of curves. Bear with me while I round out this edit. Okay. This photo is re-updating now. So I'll be able to go straight to lay Astro bin and give it a post. And we're gonna post together. Oh, thank you. That lagoon, I think I need to redo. Definitely with Blur Exterminator. Yeah, the one true Kaiser. But we're gonna post this, and then I'm gonna dip from the stream. In the middle of the galaxy, a bunch of stars. We're giving a plug to the observatory. Sharpen the thumbnail. This is going to be extreme. Oh, this is cool. I gotta add my filters. Astrodon R. Oh god. This is a 50mm red. It's not uploaded yet. I'm not gonna watermark my images because I think it looks ugly. And I think it ruins the photo. Astrobin puts a watermark on it already, so I mean, I honestly I do watermark my stuff when it goes to Reddit, but other than that I don't because I'm not gonna watermark something that goes on Instagram. It just looks disgusting. I think I snagged like 29 exposures per filter. Let's see, that was blue, that was green, this is red. You're doing similar work on that galaxy to what you're doing with your Andromeda project. I checked this galaxy for oxygen with multiple systems and I didn't find any, so I'm on the lookout always. If it's there, I'm not going to miss it because I'm always looking. Oh, only 14 hours? I thought I had more time. How many frames did I shoot? Oh, this is 247. It's a lot more than that. Hold up. Let's see. 247 divided by 4 filters. That's 60 exposures per filter. Yeah, I had way more exposures than I think I had. I had to dump a lot, so we're going to make conservative estimates that is what those are. And I also need to add the HA filter from Astrodon. Okay, save the details. Gotta make my numbers look big. Aw, Dean. Thank you for the comment already. You're on it. Alright, we got up to 26 hours. Alrighty, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. You'll probably catch me again soon enough. I'm moving in a couple days, so I will see you all again shortly. I hope you enjoyed.